welcome to the Mike Koenigs Show. My name is Mike Koenigs, and this is all about money-making ideas for entrepreneurs. Our show is sponsored by our friends at Bulletproof Coffee. Thank you very much. And I'm super excited for today's program because I'm going to be interviewing a friend of mine. Her name is Shanda Sumter, and she is brilliant. In fact, the whole idea behind this is she has figured out a great way to build an audience and monetize that audience and ultimately building a business in less than 2 years. We also have some hot seat questions that we're going to be talking about and a lot more. So let's get into it, shall we? All right, so the big idea here is, think about it. If in just 2 years, what if you could build a business that would have the freedom and the lifestyle you want? And for me, probably you, it's the reason we started a business in the first place. But the challenge always becomes how to get there. And more specifically, like, how do you figure out what are you best at, what the market is, what are you going to do for them, how are you going to make money, monetize it, and still maintain a good lifestyle at the same time? And oftentimes, business owners get so caught up in the day-to-day minutia of their operations that they struggle to find the freedom and time they imagined that owning a business in the first place would give them, and they end up forgetting the most important things, which is building and engaging an audience and selling stuff to them, okay? So it is absolutely crucial as entrepreneurs just to know what kind of skills and habits you need to develop and acquire and have on an ongoing basis, and also how to build a team that will help you get a good return on investment, and again, not at the expense of your health or your lifestyle. So with Shanda, you're gonna learn how she thinks, most importantly. It always comes down to a mindset game, but also how to overcome the challenges that are around you all the time. And I have gotten to know her very well. I've traveled with her now. I've spoken at some events with her. And she's also opened my eyes up to a sales process she has that is mind-numbingly awesome. It works like crazy. In fact, I did something with one of her systems at one of these events I was speaking at. She shared it with me, and it's really similar to some stuff I had, but she had some key distinctions that made it really work well. She calls it iSolve. But the bottom line is I implemented it, and I was able to close, let's see, 65% of all the people I spoke with within 10 minutes on a $3,000 sale. So I think you're going to enjoy this interview. And what she's going to do is she's going to give you a business model to start a business, build a platform, and build a team and she's going to share a book called Core Calling. And in the extended bonus interview that I do with Shanda, which is available at our podcast, you can go a little bit deeper with this. So first of all, if you want to jump right in, get her book, you can get that at mrbz.com/Shanda, Shanda. And the other thing that we're going to be doing together is I'm going to share some new ideas with you, which are some hot seats. But before that, I will also just say that a lot of people have been submitting and asking questions. I'm going to answer those questions as well. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to go straight into that interview with Shanda Sumter, a whiz at business, a whiz at building an audience and monetizing it as well. I'm really excited about my next guest. This is Shanda Sumter. She's the author of Core Calling, How to Build a Business That Gives You a Freedom Lifestyle in 2 years or Less. And her business model is really, really interesting because it revolves around the concept of generosity. And she calls her company Heartcore Business. So Shanda, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Our third interview.
I know.
And what's a Heartcore Business?
In short, it's a business that's built around your value system.
And what's that mean?
So generosity. So I've always been a generous person. When my mom and my stepmom and my dad were married, I was the little girl who would put like the Sinclair chocolates underneath her pillow when she came back from flights to make sure that their relationship was really jiving. I love being generous. And so a lot of people will say, like even in the marketing world, don't give too much information. Well, that never worked for me because it always felt inauthentic. So what would it be like if you actually build a business around your true self, your true value system?
Okay, so I know, so for one thing, that's awesome. I hadn't had you tell that variation of the story, but I really see it now after getting to know you better. And I mentioned this in a previous take, which is I've fallen in love with you all over again because I really like just how, I love how you think. It's really interesting. And that's really why you're successful. It is your value system. It's that process. So I thought, what a great way to get people introduced to you by just having you describe your business and your business model. So let's just dive right in. I mean, we're going to give away your book. That's at mrbz.com/Shanda. So we got that out of the way. But let's talk about how you build a hardcore business. And again, what does that mean in terms of, your promise is $1 million business in 2 years or less, right?
Well, if you have a business, it would be $1 million business 2 years or less. But so it's kind of interesting. So of course, it's all built around generosity. We mix endurance sports, not that you have to do an endurance sports, but if you got habit problems, meaning that your habits are the condition of what your life looks like right now, we mix endurance with building businesses, and we find that we have a cutting edge on that. Our entrepreneurs get rich faster. So, but the flip side of that is the model is that where I'm being integrous on showing people how to build a business is step one is we take you through a year of putting a platform underneath you, putting a product or making a product better, and then teaching you how to sell to it the way they want you to. They want to be sold to.
Right. And just for people who don't know what a platform is, your definition
an
of a
email
platform?
list. An email list. So that's not even. We don't even include social media at that point. We're very focused, one thing at a time. So if I can put an email list underneath you, and then I can show you how to sell to that email list, well, now that solves the scarcity problem. If you're not trying to figure out how to eat, you're good to go, right? So you become more generous and you become easier for me to train. The next year, and I'm really upfront with people, don't hire me for 1 year. Hire me for 3 to 5 years. Stay with me. You're going to get a better return on investment if you stay with me and not try and piece the whole thing together. So the first year is that, put the email list underneath you, teach you how to sell to it. The next year is marketing mastery, which is really around now this cool stuff like live streams, or, we've brought you in to come talk around how you use books to be able to really impact and own your marketplace and really make a great amount of money doing it. So we're kind of responsible in that aspect. Does that make sense?
Yep, it sure does. So let's talk about how do you build a list? Let's start there and just go through your
reporter
process.
model.
Okay.
So,
and what's that mean? What's a reporter model?
So there are telesummits and video summits out there. However, we do them a little bit differently. We encourage people to do video because the mind doesn't know the difference between the faces, so it feels like you're getting to know each other a lot better than audio. However, if you are paralyzed and you cannot do video.
Not yet anyway.
Not yet anyway. Then audio, right? So we teach a reporter model, so you become like Barbara Walters and Oprah, Larry King Live, and we show you how to script 3 different sets of questions and styles, so that there's a style thing there. And we show you how to interview people and how to get the right people. Even if you don't have a product, you don't have services, nobody knows you, how do you get these amazing people to say yes to you? And so we show them how to do that. So that's the first step.
So it's borrowed celebrity. Okay, so that's step 1. Step 2 is what?
Step 2 is you've got to survey the list. So I can't tell you how many people come to me, Mike, and they're like, I've got this amazing product that nobody's ever done before. I'm like, oh God, okay. Or I have this amazing product that I just need to get in the hands of more people. I'm like, oh, okay. I can take something like that and make it better. Right. However, if you can build the list first, then we do a very strategic survey model. So for instance, I had a love coach the other day who, they're everywhere, right? However, she's really good at communication. I mean, I sit there and I go, if I could be that good at communication, I wouldn't have half the breakdowns in my relationship. She just has this ability. So I'm like, you need to do the survey and find out what are some of their communication challenges so that you can speak into it. You need to find out when was the last time they were in a relationship, or maybe even how long are your average relationships? Less than a year, 2 years, 3 years, or you're a serial relationship person, or you don't have any desire to be in a relationship at all. So you can see if you create a really strategic survey, and we do a 7 to 8 question survey, no more. It's always multiple choice, and the last question is a comment box. The reason for that, and this is important because somebody's going to take this and they're going to put comment boxes on all of them. Everybody's going to give you their opinion. You don't want that. You want to lead them in the area that you are your lowest hanging fruit, meaning that when I started my company, I taught around spirituality and spotting opportunities and taking it. because that's what I was good at. So everybody's good at something. So if you create a survey after building the list, you can actually lead people down and pull your people right off the list.
Good. Okay. So we got build the list with the reporter model, and then we do the survey of the list, and then what's next?
So after that, if you have a product, you probably need to tweak your product at this point,
right?
So that it matches the list. If you don't have a product, all you do is look at that survey and serve it.
Right.
I mean, you could write books, you could do teleclasses, you could charge people $37 to create a product and teach it all online or on a telephone and record it all. Right. I mean, so you have a product very quickly after that. Yep. However, I recommend getting into the reorder business. And what I mean by that is I'm not a big fan, and I'm going to piss some people off here, because there's a lot of people who teach, go out there and teach us, give a 6-week something, or I'm a big fan in creating a really strong cash flow. So we're known for this. So great, the 6-week programs and all of that are relevant if the marketing is put in the right order. However, if you have to sell every single month, we're going to have a problem. First of all, you're not going to be generous. You're going to be exhausted, and eventually you're going to burn out, and all that stuff, we already know what that goes. However, if you create a model that you have subscription-based, and what I mean by subscription-based, I mean $600, $1,000, $1,500, $3,000 a month with a large group of people. First of all, they're going to be more committed. Second of all, you're not going to have a cash flow program. Problem.
Got it. Okay. So you're giving them what they want, ask for, and then you also talked about launching a show. What is that?
So before we get into selling the product or service, we actually warm them up on the show, like maybe something like this. You'll do some sort of either teleclass, webinar, live stream. As long as you can talk on a phone, you could do this. It's really easy, right? Yeah. And you just serve them. You just give them what they said on the survey. So and this will surprise you. I survey my list every single year. I had one year that told me everybody wanted to know blogging. I don't know where my community was getting influenced, but somebody probably did a launch online that influenced them all that they need blogging. And so I had to go and teach a show around blogging and what I was doing to get engagement, all of that. Now that builds a trust. Wow, she's actually showing me how to do a blog that will actually get people to engage on it. The minute they get one engagement, you've got proof, right, that what you say works. So then you can launch the product or the service and they'll buy.
Great. So talk a little bit about, is there any business type that this doesn't work for, or is there a type that it works best for?
Obviously coaches and consultants are great, but I don't like to limit myself in that world because my background is nightclubs, real estate. I get most of my great ideas off of watching retail, so I haven't found one. I've found people in the car business who've done it. No.
Okay.
If there is, I would love to know.
All right. Well, and interestingly, I've taught product creation, all sorts of strategies as well, and you have a variation here. And the truth is, there's different models for different types of business. There's a lot of ways to get to the finish line, and this is great. I love the simplicity, and what's great is it's all free inside the book, which you can get at mrbz.com/Shanda. And what else can they expect to learn when they grab the free copy of the book?
They'll get everything I've done. There's not one thing left out in that book. Absolutely everything I've done to be able to take 3 months off a year. More than that, actually, to be quite honest, because I take off the month of December. I take off the last week of every single month. We call it flex time. As an endurance athlete, it's recovery time. Yeah. I make millions and millions of dollars, and it's still growing. I really enjoy my life. My friends, most comment to me is always, if that's even right English, is always, you are actually living this, and I truly am. So you'll get it all.
That's great. All right. Well, it's easy for you. Just head on over again to mrbz.com/Shanda, grab the book, and learn more about Shanda and what she's doing. And thank you again for being here. This is a blast.
Thank you.
All right. Good.
Awesome.
All right. See you later.